The venue called me 3 weeks before the wedding. There was scheduling misunderstanding. That was the phrase. Apparently, my stepsister had toured the same venue months after I'd paid my deposit and insisted on hosting her engagement party there the night before my ceremony. Same ballroom, same floral vendor, same setup team. "It'll be fun," she'd said when I confronted her. Like a wedding weekend. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was proximity as competition. My parents called it coincidence. She didn't realize, my mom said carefully, "Don't make this bigger than it is." I swallowed it. Paid an extra fee to secure my date. Adjusted timelines. Smoothed over vendor confusion. I told myself it was manageable. The dress was not. I found the tear 2 days before the ceremony. It wasn't a loose seam. It was a deliberate slice along the side zipper, small but surgical. The garment bag had been hanging in my parents' guest room closet while I finalized details. My stepsister had stayed there that week. When I held the dress up, my hands didn't shake. I just stared at it. She denied it immediately. "Why would I do that?" she asked, eyes wide in practiced innocence. My father stepped in before I could respond. "This is ridiculous," he said. "You're accusing your sister without proof." Stepsister. The word always felt aspirational in our house. "You're under stress," my mom added gently. "Don't look for enemies." I drove home with the damaged dress folded carefully beside me. I didn't cry in the car. I felt something close to clarity. The wedding happened. Not at that venue. I called them that night and forfeited part of my deposit. I booked a smaller garden space attached to a community arts center downtown, available on short notice because a corporate event had canceled. It wasn't grand. It was quiet. 50 guests instead of 180. Simple catering. A local seamstress repaired the dress enough to hold. My parents didn't come. They said they needed to cool down. My stepsister posted photos from her engagement party the night before, champagne glasses raised in the ballroom I'd originally chosen. I muted her. The garden ceremony was small and imperfect. The wind lifted the veil at the wrong moment. The sound system crackled once during the vows. But when I looked at the people who showed up, no one was calculating. They were present. After the wedding, my husband and I decided to redirect the remainder of our budget. Instead of upgrading our honeymoon, we partnered with the arts center that hosted us. They'd been struggling financially after losing corporate sponsors. I work in project management for a regional nonprofit. I understand logistics, grant applications, media outreach. What started as a thank you turned into a 3-month sprint. We helped them secure city funding, organized a public fundraiser, reworked their event calendar. It wasn't dramatic. It was steady. Last month, the center reopened its community program wing, art classes for kids, rehearsal space for local performers, free weekend workshops. A local news station covered the reopening. They interviewed the director. Then they asked how the turnaround happened. He mentioned us by name. I didn't think much of it until my phone began buzzing. Missed calls from my mother. A text from my father, "We saw you on TV." Then another, "Why didn't you tell us about this?" I didn't answer immediately. By that evening, there was a knock on our door. When I opened it, my parents stood there together. Not angry, not defensive. Uncertain. What came as soon as we saw the segment. My mom said, You're doing important work." I stepped aside and let them in. "Our house is smaller than the one I grew up in. It's quieter too." They looked around as if measuring the difference. "You could have used that original venue," my father said finally. "You didn't have to move everything." "I know," I said. My mom hesitated. "Your sister didn't mean." I held up a hand gently. "This isn't about her anymore." They exchanged a glance. "We were worried about you," my mom said. I was disappointed. I replied, "Not broken." Silence settled in the living room. On the coffee table sat a framed photo from the garden ceremony. No ballroom chandeliers. Just trees and folding chairs and people leaning toward each other. "You looked happy." My father admitted. I was. He cleared his throat. We didn't think you'd pivot like that. Pivot. The word almost made me smile. I stopped trying to win rooms that didn't want me, I said. That freed up time. For what? My mom asked quietly. For building something else. They didn't apologize. They didn't defend my stepsister either. They just sat there, absorbing the version of me that existed without their validation. When they stood to leave, my mom paused at the door. "We're proud of you," she said. It sounded unfamiliar. "Thank you," I replied. After they left, I stood in the entryway for a moment. I didn't feel victorious. I felt settled. My stepsister still has her ballroom photos. My parents still navigate that side of the family the way they always have. But I don't orbit that gravity anymore. They rushed to my house expecting to find someone wounded or waiting. Instead, they found someone occupied. And that, more than any confrontation, changed the balance. I didn't move on to prove anything. I moved on because standing still had started to feel smaller than I was willing to be.